Well, Joe Keery just made one of the best albums of the year, so I mean, I guess anything can happen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Fabled Joey, and welcome to my review of Joe Keery, or DJO's new album, 2020. And for those of you who don't know who Joe Keery is, there's this little indie show I don't know many people have seen. It's called Stranger Things, and he's the best character in Stranger Things, Steve. Yeah, so new album, 2020, DJO, 12 tracks, about 44 minutes long. Let's dive right into this because this album is spectacular. It's honestly hard to think of where to start. So let's just start with, I guess, the lineup of tracks. We got 12 tracks. I'd say more like 11 because the opener's not necessarily like a music track as much as it is a introduction to a spiritual experience of musical goodness, which is 2020. So let's just get this out of the way. I'm a huge Joe Keery fan. He's always been, he's just my favorite actor out of Stranger Things. I just love him as a person and everything that I've seen with him. And I knew that when he said he was making an album and his first song dropped that I was going to love it. And I'm so thankful that it delivered because this album is spectacular, and I have so much that I want to talk about. So the first main thing that I want to bring up is the production. The production on this album is so fantastic. There are parts of it that remind me of an old school Beatles album, like a track off of Rubber Soul, and then there are parts of it that remind me of something that Tame Impala would do, and even just other indie bands. But then, after all these kind of influences that you can hear all the places, DJO, or Joe Keery, makes a sound all his own on this album. There are tracks that come out of nowhere that you would not expect, and you're just like, what is this? Speaking of which, Flash Mountain. Let's talk about my favorite track on the album right at the beginning. Flash Mountain is a glorious piece of music. I think it's about 4.5 minutes long. It came out of nowhere for me. I did not expect a song that rocked this hard to come this close to the album. Fantastic song. If you don't listen to the album, at least go give that track a try because it is a jam. It is so fantastic. The production is great. The guitar work is wonderful. The bass line is smooth, steady. Everything in it is just, it's fantastic. I think everyone should check that song out. Wow. What a great track. Definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite on it. And once again, this goes to the production. The production on this whole album is unbelievable. There's not too much I can say about it other than I really like it. To me, it felt very unique. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's either indie or alternative, you know, that kind of music that's coming out more and more, and there's more of these artists, I feel like it gets very, repetitive. I feel like everyone is using the same effects on the vocals. I feel like everyone is doing the same things with the production on the tracks. And then Joe Keery comes in with 2020 and just blows me away. I thought it was very unique, very fun, and yeah, let's talk about the vocals here because it's kind of weird to be listening to a song and then realize, hey, this is Steve from Stranger Things singing this. This is Joe Keery. Like, the first time I heard it, I heard this and I was like, is this like a joke? Like, is this really him? Like, this is incredible. And it is. The vocal consistency throughout this it's honestly incredible. He tries so many different things, and at least for me, almost all of them work out really well. I really like the way that he changes up his voice to match the certain tones or styles that the song's going with. He's got a very nice voice for, I don't know, he changes it up a lot, and that's something that I can really respect, especially someone like Joe Keery, because I can see him doing it, but the fact that he did it and pulled it off is just, it's wonderful, and it just goes to show how great the album is overall and how much work was put into it. For a first, big musical effort or solo effort from Joe Keery, he knocked it out of the park, and his vocals throughout this thing are wonderful. Now let's talk flaws, because I don't think the album is perfect, but I also don't think it needed to be. And the only thing I'd say is that on some tracks, I guess I wasn't necessarily into it. Maybe it just wasn't my style, but that's not to say that I didn't appreciate it. There wasn't a single track that I like listened to all the way through, and I was like, I don't know if I love that, because I've listened to the album 4 times all the way through now, and I like it more and more every single time. That's not to say that there are tracks, of course there are tracks that I prefer to other tracks, but really every track has something of its own to share. I think that there's something on this album for a lot of people. Not necessarily for everyone, but for indie fans, especially alternative fans, fans of Joe Keery who just want to support him. Go give this album a try, because it'll probably leave you floored, or maybe you'll just end up really liking it. I don't know, but go give it a shot. It's definitely fun. It's so fun. That's if I could use 2 words to describe this album, I'd say, you know, like sleek and fun. It was so fun to listen to this album all the way through, just because there's so much diversity within the tracks, and there's so much great effort put into this, and I love that. Now let's talk track highlights. I already talked a little bit about my favorite track, Flash Mountain, but don't you dare think that that is the only one that I absolutely loved, because that would be false. I have the track list right here. Let's go through them. Let's talk about them. I seriously loved everything. Some of my other favorite tracks, Personal Lies. What a way to really start the album. This track is fantastic. Everything about it. I love the production. I love the vocals. The instrumental on this, it's wonderful. I think it's perfect. And then another one right after is Tentpole Shangri-La. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it. Weird name. Fantastic song. I think it's definitely one of the oddest on the album, and I really respected it. Listened to it through the first time. I was like, well, that was something else, and I loved it. Thought it was brilliant. And then, of course, the 3 singles, you got Roddy, Chateau, and Mortal Projections. All 3 of these things were unbelievable, and such a great way to listen to these and be like, whoa, I should listen to this album. And you should. Those 3 singles are the safest bets for maybe people who haven't listened to anything before. I think that they're perfect. I think a lot of people will really like them, especially Roddy. I feel like Roddy is very easy on the ears. A lot of people will really enjoy that track, me included. I really do enjoy it. And then you got BNBG, which is by far my second favorite track on the album. It comes kind of close to the end. It is fantastic. I'm pretty sure it stands for Brand New Baby Girl. It's just such a fun track. Love the vocals, love the instruments once again. Definitely one of my favorites. And then you got the ending track, Mutual Future, which is, I think, one of the best written songs and performed on the album. It might not be my favorite, but it's definitely up there, maybe either 3 or 4. But seriously, every single one of these tracks is great. They all have something to offer for someone. They all have great production. Now, of course, there's 1 or 2 tracks where you might listen to them and be like, okay, you know, that was really good, but maybe I didn't like it as much as this track. But all across the board, fantastic effort from Joe Keery. This is truly amazing. I'm going to give DJO's first album, or Joe Keery's album, 2020, an A-. I love this thing. I think it's fantastic. I think all indie fans should go give it a try, even if you're just a fan of Joe Keery. You like Stranger Things. Maybe Steve's one of your favorite characters. Go listen to this. Go give it a shot. This is unbelievable. And if you'll excuse me, I gotta go listen to it like 10 more times. So I'll see you guys in the next video.